So I posted a video last night that was called Mimic at my job, and one of the comments said, "Have you ever had any positive paranormal experiences?" And then we had a little conversation, and I don't believe I've had any positive paranormal experiences. And the reason I say paranormal is, for some reason, for me, paranormal symbolizes scary, ghosts, spooky, stuff like that. I did, however, say that I've had positive spiritual connections. And the reason I say spiritual is different than paranormal is because I don't think spiritual is always supernatural or creepy. Um, I think spiritual can be very simple as a positive encounter with an animal or the right sign at the right time, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna tell the two main experiences I've had very recently. Um, Before I officially knew that I was pregnant, so the month of October, I might cry telling this, I'm sorry, it's very hard to think about. The first week or so after conception, when I was heartbroken because I was dumped a week after conceiving my child, I didn't know I was pregnant, let's make that clear. Um, this female deer was following me. And now I see deer all the time at my job. It's not rare to see them. They're beautiful. But I'm like, no, it wasn't the female first, it was the male first. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna kill me. It's fine. I was in that mood. But no, he didn't really react. He was just kind of walking very slowly behind me. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'll stop and I'll let him go. Maybe he thinks I'm gonna to hurt him or something. So I sat on the bench and I waited for him to pass, but he wouldn't pass. He was just sitting there walking, watching and walking. So I kept walking because I had to get to work, and he just followed me. He very slowly followed me, and it didn't feel malicious, it didn't feel scary. It felt like he was watching me and making sure I was safe. Until we got to the storage unit thing, and then he disappeared, which was perfectly fine. I was a block away from my job anyway. The next week, now I saw him on and off that week. It wasn't every day, but it was on and off, and it was the same thing. He would follow me to the storage unit and then take off. Which, it's not safe for him to go past that storage unit because lots of cars, lots of traffic. I would never want him to. But he was a big boy. Big, beautiful, the antlers, huge. And then the next week, it was him and what I assumed to be his wife, because she looked very delicate, very beautiful, very slender. And she was just up his butt. And they were on and off following me for a week. The third week, they had their baby, and I know it was their baby because you're not that close. 3 deer are not that close if it's not their baby. And I saw them in the creek. Sunday morning, 7:30 in the morning, I saw them in the creek. The mom and the dad were in the creek, and the baby was in the back, but he wasn't a baby. I want to say he was at least a few months old, because he was big, but he wasn't as big as the mom. And he had the little stubbles. And I looked, and I was just I broke down crying. I broke down crying looking at these beautiful creatures that... And I started walking to work. I didn't see them again till later in the week. I saw the dad and the baby, and I started spotting. I had taken a pregnancy test that day, and it said positive, but I started to spot, so I'm that's not good. But after taking the pregnancy test, I saw the two, not the mom, the two. And then when I started spotting, and I told my boss, I gotta go to the emergency room, I'm not taking any chances. If I am pregnant, I'm not gonna lose it. If I'm not, and it's just some type of hormonal thing, I need to know. But when I was getting in, getting out of the main building and coming back here to wait for my ride, all 3 deer, the mom, the dad, the baby, were in the back side of the creek. Far enough away where they're not scary. Far enough away where, nobody's gonna really see them if you're not looking for them. But I saw all 3 of them. And that was my sign that everything was gonna be okay. I don't know what it was, but that was my sign. These 3 deer followed me for a month. until I knew that I was pregnant. Like, until I knew, hey, here's what's happening. I went on vacation a week after that, and I haven't seen them since, which is good. I really hope they're like safe, because it's wintertime technically, or fall. I don't fucking know, but I really hope they're safe. Anyway, that was one spiritual positivity, and I think the second one was, oh, excuse me. Before I turned 3 months pregnant, I was told that it was extremely possible that my baby wouldn't make it to 3 months because I was having a lot of bleeding on and off and cramping on and off, and the doctors were very crude and just disgusting about it, basically saying it's not uncommon for the baby to not make it to 3 months and blah 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 blah. But in my gut, I'm like, no, he's gonna make it. He doesn't have a fucking choice. He's gonna make it. So one day, after watching a bunch of TikTok and Mama Tot videos, because she just makes me feel better, I saw some of her old videos about her baby child and her son, how he passed, and she found I believe it was a blue jay feather. So beautiful. So, sorry, I can't breathe. Yeah. She found a blue jay feather, and they've like symbolized her son at that point because she was seeing them all the time, and people were sending them to her, and then some asshole on the internet turned her into wildlife, and they came and stole them. Well, took them away because they're illegal to have. Anyway, right before like I hit that 3 month mark, I saw a blue jay outside my job. Very beautiful. And I've never seen a blue jay in person before, ever. So I thought this was like super convincing or coincidental, spiritual, whatever you want to call it. I saw a blue jay, and it was beautiful, perfect. He just kind of like stood on this big ass tree that's outside this window, and he just stood there for a minute. I tried to get a video, but it was crappy quality, and then it flew away. And I sat here crying for a minute because I'm like, this has to be some kind of sign, right? It has to be. And when he disappeared, there was a blue jay feather on the ground. I didn't pick it up because I didn't feel like I needed to, And then I was like, it means something. It has to mean something. Especially, like, from what I've looked it up, blue jay feathers mean, like, spirituality and good, like, a sign of something good, like a good spirit in a sense. That made no sense. But, so, my doctor's appointment was a few days after that, and I saw my son, and they said he was perfect. They literally said he's perfect. And I just broke down crying because those two felt like really good signs. And I saw baptism, and I'm like, yeah, those deer were protecting me. That blue jay, I don't even know what that was. The blue jay was watching me, the blue jay was telling me that it's going to be okay. Like, I know it. I feel it in my bones. Especially because I haven't seen a blue jay since then. Since I think I needed to see it, I haven't seen a blue jay since then. So those are my two very positive, for me, stories that I believe are spiritually positive. Please comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think.